Everyone, first of all, very happy Dasira to everybody. And today let's look at an important issue with regard to a first time report given by the European Union, and it is called as the Global Tax Evasion Report of 2024. Now this report came up with some very important highlights, especially with regard to the effects of tax evasion and what are the steps taken at the global level to deal with tax evasion, and some of the important findings. Let's have a quick look at it. So recently the European Union Tax Observatory, which is a research laboratory and was established very recently in 2021 with the expertise in international tax issues, has released a report called as Global Tax Evasion Report of 2024. This new report addressed to curb tax evasion globally and what remains to be done. Some recommendations have been given also. The question of tax evasion is very important with regard to rising income inequality after the COVID pandemic and recent the Russia and Ukraine war, and now again it's the Israel-Palestinian issue. There is increasing wealth inequality, and also there are many goals to be achieved. For example, the Sustainable Development Goals, displacement of people, rehabilitation of them, climate change, etc. And it is significant for the government to address these climate change and also fund essential services like healthcare, education and infrastructure. The title of the report is Global Tax Evasion Report of 2024, and it is the first edition, and it summarizes the work of more than 100 researchers worldwide in collaboration with tax administrators. This work analyzes the data of multinational companies, the automatic exchange of information. Now it also speaks about two steps that were taken to deal with the tax evasion. One is the automatic exchange of information with regard to tax evasion by the foreign international financial institutes, and also another one is the minimum global tax rate that was imposed on the MNCs. So the automatic exchange of information was introduced in 2017 to fight offshore tax evasion by the wealthy individuals, and in 2023 more than 100 countries exchanged information on the deposits of non-residents to foreign tax authorities as a part of its common standard procedure. In October last year, India received almost the fourth set of the Swiss bank details of its nationals and organizations as a part of its exchange. Switzerland had shared particulars of nearly 34 lakh financial accounts with 101 countries, India being one of them. And in October 2021, a group of 136 countries, including India, set a minimum global tax rate of 15% for the MNCs that sought to make it harder for them to avoid tax evasion. However, a number of loopholes still exist and therefore bring down the impact of the measures taken. This is what the Global Tax Evasion Report says. So what exactly are the highlights of the report? Now, before 2013, the important points made by the report are that before 2013, the household held equivalent of 10% of the GDP in financial wealth in global tax havens. Much of it was undeclared, but today 25% of this offshore wealth remains untaxed, and marking a substantial reduction in non-compliance wealth. This is what the report says, and it's one of the good news. The report, however, highlights that offshore tax evasion still happens due to non-compliance by the offshore financial institutions and limitations in the exchange of bank information, with the fear that they might lose out their customers. While many institutions adhere to the requirements of reporting, some do not do because of the fear of losing their customer base. Furthermore, not all the assets are subject to automatic exchange of bank information, allowing individuals to exploit these gaps, especially in the realm of real estate. This is what the report says. Second, the report finds out a considerable amount of profit shifting to tax havens with no apparent impact of the policies so far. Approximately $1 trillion is shifted to tax havens in 2022, equivalent to 35% of all the profits booked by MNCs outside their headquarters. This profit shifted as resulted in substantial loss of corporate tax revenues to the governments, and this is what the report says. US multinationals are responsible for around 40% of the profit shifting. This is a highlight, with continental European countries being most affected by these evasion. The report also sheds light on weakening of the global minimum tax of 15% on the multinational companies, which had generated high expectations when it was imposed in 2021. Then it was initially anticipated to significantly increase the global corporate tax revenues. However, several loopholes have reduced its expected impact by a factor of 3. This was mentioned by the report. The ongoing subsidies phase for green energy producers may outweigh the revenues gained generated by the global minimum corporate tax. This is what the report says. It finds that global billionaires have effective tax rates of 0 to 0.5% of their wealth due to frequent use of shell companies to avoid income taxation. Surprisingly, there have been no serious attempts to address the situation by the governments, which risks eroding social acceptability of existing tax systems. And in addition, the report also highlights emergence of new forms of aggressive tax competition that negatively affect the government revenues all over the world. And India has taken some of the steps with regard to tax evasion. For example, the Black Money, Undisclosed Foreign Income and Assets Imposition of Tax Act 2015, double taxation avoidance agreements have been signed between India and many countries, tax information exchange agreements, multilateral convention on mutual administrative assistance in tax matters, SAARC multilateral agreement on tax treaties with other countries, and also the FIU, or the Financial Intelligence Unit. India is a member of the Egmont Group, an international organization for exchange of information and cooperation among the financial intelligence units of all the countries. These are some of the steps taken by the government and some of the highlights of the report, coming at a very apt time when the global economy is really hit by the Israel and Palestinian war. We are already hit by COVID-19 pandemic, and immediately it started off with the Russia and Ukraine war. The global economy is definitely not in a better situation. However, India is one of the green spot in the global economy. And this report comes at a timely time so that the government can work on tax evasion and also check the taking away of the profits from the home countries to other safe tax havens. And the governments can work with many other financial institutions that are globally situated along with other countries as well. So this will ensure better saving of revenue for the government so that they can invest in adoption, in fulfilling the sustainable development goals, investments in rehabilitation, health, education, infrastructure, etc. So I hope this information was really helpful to you all with regard to the Global Tax Evasion Report of 2024 by the European Union Group. And if you did, please do like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to comment. And I shall see you in my next post. Until then, it's very happy learning.